How you doing, YouTube? Today we're back with a brand new video. Okay, so in today's video we're going to be replacing some plasterboard and skimming the ceiling. It's not a massive job, but I'm going to actually do a voiceover and talk you through all the steps that we do to get a nice, flat, smooth surface. So let's get into it. Okay, so in today's video I'm actually just going to do a bit of a voiceover and talk you through everything I do patching the ceiling. A lot of people ask me about patching ceiling, so I'll run you through it. First of all, what we're doing is we're taking any nails out. If the plasterboard was screwed up, we would take the screws out also. If you don't take all the nails and screws out, what happens is when you put your new plasterboard up, the screws or nails will like pop holes and it'll leave little raised bits, so you're better taking them off. After we've removed all the screws or nails, we're going to go around the edge. We want to cut the plasterboard back. You see here the joist along the length of this joist. We're going to cut it back. We're going to try to leave it so we can get a bit of plasterboard to catch the edge of this joist. So we're just going to cut it back, and then we're going to cut the rest of the plasterboard as square as we can. After we've cut it square, we're going to go around the gap with about for about an inch. We're going to cut the plaster but not through the plasterboard, and we are going to use a paint scraper, and we're going to scrape the paint off, or scrape the plaster off. What this does is when we apply our new board, the board's going to be the same level as the plasterboard that you can see me exposing. I'm going to put scrim tape so that the joint doesn't crack, and then that allows me to skim this completely flat, and it stops you from being able to see bulges, or basically it stops you from being able to see that this was patched at all. Anytime when you can't do this, so you can't scrape around the edge and free it up for the scrim tape it, what usually happens is you'll see like a raised ridge after it's painted, and it's really obvious. If you just want to if you want to save yourself this hassle scraping and whatever, just reskim the whole ceiling, but I prefer to do it this way. It saves the person money, saves me the hassle. So we're just going to measure up, and we're going to go and we're going to cut our plasterboard. So when you're working on your own, it's always good to have a plasterboard prop. It just helps so that you're not standing trying to hold it over your head while screwing at the same time. You see me using these quite a lot. They're probably the best job for somebody that works on their own, but you're not putting up massive amounts of plasterboard. So yeah. Now we're just going to put offer the plasterboard up to the ceiling, and we're just going to screw it in. For anybody that's not sure about how thick their plasterboard is on the original ceiling, you're always better buying the smaller board. So there's two kinds of board. There's 1/4 inch and then there's 1/2 inch. This is a 1/4 inch board. The board that's on the ceiling was actually 1/4 inch. So, but regardless if it was 1/4 inch or it was 1/2 inch, if you buy the 1/4 inch, you're just filling out some skim. Where if you buy the 1/2 inch, it's going to, and the board like this was 1/4 inch, then you're going to be, the board's going to be raised above where you can see it, basically. It's going to leave a big bump in the ceiling. So once you have it all screwed, we're going to scrim tape. As you can see, I'm just overlapping the scrim tape half on the old part of plasterboard and half on the new part of plasterboard. And as I said before, this just stops it from cracking, basically. This is a step that you can't skip. Regardless if you're just putting a bit of board up and re-skimming the whole ceiling, you still need to tape these joints. It's if you don't tape the joints, basically it's just going to crack. It'll take probably 2 or 3 hours, and a crack will form around it. Absolutely guaranteed. No shadow of a doubt there. The only way to stop it from re-cracking. So once we've taped all the joints, then we're ready to skim. You can see like the around the hole, I have put some SBR on the ceiling, and that's just to stop the plaster from sucking in, or sorry, PVA, and that's just to stop the moisture being sucked out of the plaster. You also seen there that I went around stapling. I like to staple the scrim tape just to make sure for certain that it's not going to move anywhere. So I've lost the video clip of me putting the first coat on, but this is my first coat. I flatten it down, and then I go round the edge and I scrape back till the edge of where the new plasterboard meets the old plasterboard. Once I've done that, then I'm going to hit it with a second tight coat. We're going to slightly overlap the plaster. We're just going to leave it a mil or two too high, and that just gives us a bit of play. I'll come back here with the speed skim shortly, and I'll use the speed skim to completely flatten it out. It's not a necessary step, but it's a good one to do if you have a speed skim. If you don't have a speed skim, you're just DIYing. You can just leave it a bit heavier, leave an extra few mil of skim on, and then just flatten it out with your trowel, basically. It's the best way to do it. It gives you some stuff to play with. If you don't put enough on and you're filling slacks the whole time, it's a bit of a nightmare. So you can see here, we're running the speed skim, and let's just make sure that it's completely flat. Saves me a lot of hassle. Then I'll just go around the edges. What I'm doing is, while it's still wet, I'm scraping the excess off and pushing lots of pressure on the trowel to flatten the edge down. I'll do this the first time, and that's just to make sure that it's flat. Then I'll come across and I'll give it its sort of first close in. So I'll just use my trowel and I'll just flatten it in the best I can. You see any sort of slightly high spots, I'll flatten them in. Because this is a patch, you want to try to make it as flat as you can, just so that it's less noticeable. If there's anything at all noticeable, it'll draw people's eye, and it'll maybe, draw their attention to it being patched, maybe. I just want to take this opportunity to say, if you're enjoying the videos and the content on the channel, subscribe. Think about leaving a like, and definitely leave some comments. I try to reply to everyone's comments. If you have any questions about how to do things or suggestions for videos, please feel free to leave a comment. Turn on the bell if you want to get notified. These videos go up twice a week, once on a Wednesday and once on a Sunday, and then I'm uploading currently 2 shorts to Facebook and 2 TikTok videos every single day. So go and check out my TikTok. It's just searching or plastering again on TikTok, and then you can check out my social media. I have Instagram, Facebook, my Facebook plastering page is there. And then if you want to support me, you can go to Patreon. Patreon gets you access to extra content. And then also there's a buy me coffee link. And then you can become a member here on YouTube. So with a membership, all these videos, this video that you're watching now has already been live for 2 weeks. So if you're a subscriber or if you're a member, this video's early for you, but you also get an extra video. So if you want a bit of extra content, become a member basically. Yeah, so now we're going to go with our first trowel. We're going to again go around the edges. You're wanting to sort of wet it up and put some nice pressure on, and just get it as flat as you can. I had somebody ask me why I brush the plaster so much. It was just the way that I learned. I find it's probably one of the better ways. Flicking water at the plaster, you know, it's getting it moist, but it's not agitating the surface. And it's sort of like this, what I call this cutting, and it's sort of like sponge floating for the guys that sponge float. You're doing basically the same thing with a brush, and then when I give it its next trowel, I do the same thing, but the brush doesn't leave marks. It's just adding water till the surface, and that's basically it's the reason that I do it. Yeah. So again, we're putting extra focus on getting the around the edges as flat as we can. That's what I concentrate most when I'm troweling. The centers are important, but the more important parts are around the outside basically. Because that's what's going to be most noticeable. I always advise clients to give this a little bit of a sand just before they paint it, just to make sure that it's nice and blended in. Some very fine grit sandpaper just to take any big bits off. Now we're using our Rafina Superflex 2. And we're putting lots of pressure, lots of moisture, and we're getting this plaster as flat as possible. Lots of pressure, and then it's just basically clean up and that's it. Yeah, so thanks for watching basically. I appreciate it. Now I'm going to leave it to I'd actually already done the outro in the van the day I'd done this job, so see you later. Okay, and that's us done for the day. So as you can see, we got that ceiling nice and flat and smooth. Once it's painted, you'll never even realise that it was patched in at all. It does take, like, it's not a beginner's thing. It's something that takes you a bit of time to be able to get right. But as you see, you know, it's definitely doable. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your bell
the more interaction with the video, the higher it's pushed on the YouTube algorithm, and the more people see the video, basically. So you're helping me out. If you want to support me, I have a Patreon. You can become a member here. It gets you an extra video, and also all these videos 2 weeks earlier than everyone else. I have my Patreon, Buy Me Coffee, and then my Amazon affiliate links. The way the affiliate links works is you click on the link for the tool that you want to buy. It's all tools that I use day to day. You buy the tool and I get a small percentage. Even if you don't buy the tool but go on to buy something else within 24 hours, I still get a small percentage of that sale, so it's a good way to support me. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.